And so the key here with this channel, the 2838, is that struggle does not have to be suffering. If you know that you're born to struggle, then paradoxically, you can participate in that struggle without suffering, without actually struggling. You can watch the struggle of your body living its life without mentally getting attached, identified, and amplifying what's going on. And if you're not getting attached, identified, and amplifying what doesn't belong to you, if you're not doing that, then the struggle is actually a really beautiful process wherein you can pull information and you can pull truth out from others in a way that wouldn't happen otherwise. Hello there. Welcome to Dharma Science Radio. My name is Ian, and I'll be your host today as we explore through the human design system and the body graph of a friend of mine. I see no reason to delay the show, so without further ado, let's dive right on in. So if you've studied human design at all, you'd know that we're looking at a splenic authority projector. We're dealing with somebody who has the 4323 in their unconscious definition, and they have the 2838 also with unconscious definition. You see this 2838 right here and the 4323 right here. These are defining these energy centers that give birth to a projector aura type. We're dealing with somebody who has a strong unconscious power to struggle in their explanation of individual personal truth. You see, this 4323 is all about, it's a fun name. It's something I really appreciate. It's called Genius to Freak. Now, this is all about the individual's ability to express themselves accurately to the other person. And since we're dealing with a projector, and this is a projected channel, we need to wait for invitation. We need to wait for recognition from the other before sharing, before giving words to their insight and their individual knowing. If this person can wait for the invitation, if they can wait for the recognition from the other, then what they have to say is much more likely to be well received and to be perceived as that of a genius. However, if this person is feeling the need to express themselves to people that don't recognize them, if this person is trying to get others to see their perspective, even though the other doesn't care, they turn into a freak. Other people really don't like it. Like, they're not explaining it in the right way. They're not explaining it at the right time. They're not explaining it to the right person. And it's just wrong. It's freaky. It's like, whoa, I don't know what you're talking about, but I want nothing to do with that. And the opposite is true if they can wait for the invitation. If they wait for the recognition from the other, then they can share their unique individual insight and knowing in a way that lands and is perceived as genius. Now down here in the 2838, this is the channel of struggle. This is a very powerful channel. This is about the individual's need to have life be worth fighting for, that there is something worthy of fighting for and struggling to make happen in this life. It's part of our individual circuitry, much like this 4323. So this is somebody who can experience melancholy. Melancholy is a very beautiful thing. This is the muse. This is the source of inspiration that belongs to each and every individual. This bittersweet feeling of, well, it transcends linguistics. It transcends words, the beauty and the bittersweet meaning of melancholy. And so each and every individual can put their own words to it and express themselves in a different way. And this person is going to struggle and fight for what they believe in because they have a fixed sense of seeing the world from this ajna and they have a fixed sense of communicating what they see through this throat because their immune system and their adrenal glands have a defined relationship to each other. So there is this, I know how to take care of myself in this 4428 activations, and then in the root, there's the 60, the 38, the 58. There is, I'm going to fight for what I believe in. I'm going to correct the pattern, even though I am in the face of limitations. So this is somebody who has their own limitations, and it influences their stress levels, and it influences the fact that they're going to fight and struggle for what they believe in. And so the key here with this channel, the 2838, is that struggle does not have to be suffering. If you know that you're born to struggle, then paradoxically, you can participate in that struggle without suffering, without actually struggling. You can watch the struggle of your body living its life without mentally getting attached, identified, and amplifying what's going on. And if you're not getting attached, identified, and amplifying what doesn't belong to you, if you're not doing that, then the struggle is actually a really beautiful process wherein you can pull information and you can pull truth out from others in a way that wouldn't happen otherwise. If everything was so easy and there were never any problems in life, then we wouldn't learn very much. You see, it's the nature of the third line that we learn through discovery, we learn through trial and error, and this third line is basically the material world. So even though this person is not a third line profile, their relationship with the third line as a channel of struggle is real. There is a relationship with the material world. And something I'd like to say for anybody who has definition between the spleen and the root, such as this 2838, the 3254 above it, and the 1858 below it. If you have definition right here with any of these three channels especially, get some exercise. Work out. You need to sweat primarily. So even if you're not doing physical exercise, if you at least get into the sauna, if you at least get somewhere hot, if you at least do something that causes you to sweat, you will release old salt, you will release old energy that is no longer healthy, and then what you want to do is you want to consume some salt. You see, the salt is directly connected with the splenic center, and it's deeply, 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 deeply important for our survival as human beings. And when you have a fixed definition between the spleen and the adrenals, you have a cleansing, healing, transformational, struggling, correcting system that is capable to really powerfully do some good work. And so if you're not taking advantage of that system, then it will stagnate and you will find health problems arise. So find a way to sweat, find a way to release your salt, and then eat some salty potato chips or some salty soup, whatever it is you like. Just refresh and replace old salt as a regular process. And of course, this is an experiment. Don't simply do what I say because I've told you to do it. These are simply mechanical insights into the nature of what it means to be human and our capacity for self-respect. So if you have one of these channels, try it out. See what happens when you sweat out old salt and then eat some new, fresh, healthy salt. Preferably something like Himalayan or sea salt. Something with the iodine in it, the iodized salt. And see how you feel. See the difference in your own body. See what happens. Trust that. This is the experiment after all.
The biggest problem I was having was getting my head wrapped around all of the content and all of the information held within the human design system. Ian really made it simple for me to engage my curiosity for one, but made it approachable enough to where I felt like I could immediately get value out of the conversation and immediately start applying things to my day-to-day life where it didn't seem like some big puzzle I had to solve. It was an immediate solution to something that I was dealing with in my life. How am I going to apply this with any sense of reality. And he made it so simple and so easy that I have now been on another year and a half since that first meeting with him and my first introduction into human design. And it has really given my overall life experience and the quality of my conscious experience a great boost, and overall something I would highly recommend to anyone else that's early on in their years, or even months sometimes, like I was at human design.
I've been following Ian for about a year now, and I got the chance to work with him recently. The way that his knowledge of human design expands when you're in his presence to fit what you need exactly is something that is a joy to work with and a joy to see live in person.
Oh my gosh, this session was so unique because Ian really made it feel like I didn't have to worry about expectations. I didn't have to have a certain outcome be a certain way, and really helped me understand that I could just kind of ease my way into this. And he was so conversational about it that it felt like I looked up and the time had gone so quickly that I wasn't expecting it to be as much value as it was for as easy as it felt.
I definitely recommend getting a reading, getting a chance to work with Ian. He's one of the kindest souls I've met and has a really firm grasp on the information in human design. Definitely recommend.
I would recommend working with Ian for anyone that is wanting to have someone that will be both there to nurture your curiosity about human design and the fun things that you can explore about it, but also will challenge you and push you in a direction that will get you up and moving and using it in your real life. I think more than anything else, if you want to not just mentally know this system, if you want to understand how to apply it and use it and see immediate results, Ian is the person I would recommend for that. I think it is important for people to remember that this is an experiment. It is not something that you can try without trying. Like you can't get the flavor of something unless you've chewed it up and swallowed it, right? And this is one of those things where Ian does such a wonderful job of making each thing that you're experiencing understandable, and allows you to apply it with repetition. So it's not just a one-time thing. You learn how to build really good habits and how to build really good ways to honor your own authority in your own life. And from there, he lets you go and then you can fly. It's pretty remarkable how well he sets up my overall experience within human design for the purpose of changing my life, which it really did.
So we're dealing with somebody who struggles to communicate their individual inner knowing. We're dealing with a 5-1 profile. So if you have a 5-1 profile, if you have the 5th line in your profile at all, the first thing I want to tell you is that paranoia is okay. Paranoia is not a problem for the 5th line. There is a healthy degree of paranoia. You see, for the 5th line, everyone is expecting. Everyone is placing projections upon you. Everyone thinks you're the savior. Unless you don't deliver. You see, they place strong expectations upon you, and that's an advantage for you because you could take advantage of that. You simply need to be practical in your deliverance, in your explanation, in your sharing, and in your struggle. Do not get lost into impractical nonsense. You're a first line in the unconscious after all. Your body has a solid foundation, and it's willing to struggle on its journey to express and explain and trial through different things. You see this 16th gate right here? And of course, it's in the 3rd line. How fun. This 16th gate is all about experimentation. It's all about identification. I will identify with this thing, I will try it out, and I will see what works. And it's always trying to explain this 4323 right here. This 4323 is all about expressing the individual knowing. And so you have a first line in the unconscious. You have a solid unconscious foundation. This 16, this 4323, this 2838, these channels, there is an unconscious solid foundation. Your body knows how to live its life. Trust it. Now, the paranoia of this fifth line, however, is going to cause challenges if it's wrapped up in amplification. Because the healthy paranoia says, okay, what do you want from me? I know you have an expectation. I know you have a projection. What is it you want from me? And this is very important. This is not about being rude or a jerk at all. As a fifth line, you need to know what the other expects from you. Because if you can't deliver that to them, if you can't give them the goods, then you deny the projection. Then you say, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. You can't expect that from me. Because the challenge is, if you accept a projection that doesn't belong to you, if you're not practical, if somebody has an expectation from you and you don't deliver, then instead of all the positive projection, it flips to the other side into the heretical perspective. And they think you're evil. They think you're the devil. They think you're the Antichrist. They think you're the worst because you seemed so good at first and you turned out to be a scam artist or a con man or a liar or a cheater or a thief. This is what happens to the fifth lines when they receive projections they can't deliver upon. This is why it's so important to be practical. And you have to trust your inner authority for that. So what is the inner authority here? I've spoken about the type strategy for the projector, which is wait for recognition from the other, wait for the invitation from the other. When you can see them seeing you and noticing, hey, there's something in there. Would you share that with me? You have something for me. How beautiful that can be when you can deliver upon a projection. And then they go sing praises in your name. You know, I thought they were amazing and they were amazing. I need to let other people know you can trust this person. Fifth line is always either famous or infamous. Positive or negative reputation. It's a very important theme for the fifth line. And so what's the inner authority here? Well, the inner authority is the splenic center. And the splenic center only speaks once. It's not going to argue with you. It's not going to bicker with you. It's not going to tell you, hey, I told you to do this thing. Don't forget it. No, it'll tell you once. Just, hey, put your seatbelt on. Or, hey, duck. Hey, get out of here. Or, yeah, that person's really cool. Trust this person. And it doesn't matter what you're thinking about up in your head. It doesn't matter what you're feeling in your emotions. It doesn't matter if people care about you or not. It doesn't matter what they think about you. It doesn't matter if they're giving you love or not. What matters is your spleen in the moment, existentially, right now, telling you the truth. Always. And it's in this moment. Formatting through the individual circuitry of this 2838, it's a pulse. There is either a true direction being given in the moment right now by the spleen, or not. And when nothing's happening, you know, like the individual melancholy, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Don't worry about it. Watch the movie, watch the nothing, see it happen. And then in the moment when something strikes and the fire is hot, you have that intuitive, instinctual decision-making from the inside out. It's not because you've thought about it. It's not because you felt your way into it. It's not because other people will give you approval or love. It's because your spleen said so. So I'm going to go into a bit of these not self open centers. This undefined solar plexus is all about avoiding confrontation, avoiding problems, ultimately avoiding the truth. This undefined root center never knows when enough is enough. So that's a powerful accent onto everything. We're going to be avoiding problems without knowing when enough is enough. Because in this open heart center, there is the need to receive approval and validation from others. In this open G, there is this need to receive direction from the outside, there is this seeking love and direction from the outside. There is an inconsistent sense of identity and direction in life. And with this wide open crown, it can be difficult to tell the difference between what does or doesn't actually matter. And when amplification is taking over, what doesn't matter is the most important thing. Because if I'm focused on what doesn't matter, then I can receive their approval. They will give me a direction in life, and I can avoid all these problems that make me so upset without ever knowing when enough is enough. Now this heart center and this crown, these are wide open. Something I really appreciate about seeing these is the notion that somebody with a wide open center has actually completed the theme of this center in a previous lifetime. So the nature of how this person receives approval or not from others, and does it matter or not, it has less to do with their own personal learning life lessons around receiving validation or seeking approval from others and what does or doesn't matter. It's about attuning to the world in which they were born. So there is a deep, deep wisdom potential within this person to share the difference between what does and doesn't matter around receiving validation from other people or not. Because in some circumstances and situations, receiving validation and approval from others can be so rewarding and successful and satisfying. Wow, they really care. Beautiful. And yet in the amplified field, when transference and distortion takes over the life, then there's bitterness because I'm wrapped up needing approval from people that don't matter to me. I need the approval of people that don't matter because then we can avoid problems that don't matter. We can find a direction that's unimportant, and we can be very busy going forever without ever knowing when enough is enough about something that doesn't matter because we're receiving the validation and approval. And that's a taste of the not-self open center themes. Now, in the face of all those open center themes, there is one that is actually the most important. And it's right here. It's this 48th gate. This is the gate of depth. This is the bridging gate that connects their split. You see, this 4323 defines the ajna to the throat. So there's a fixed way of seeing the world, and there's a fixed way of communicating that seeing. Down here in the spleen, the 28 and the 38 connecting the spleen to the root. The body has things it's willing to fight for, and the body and the personality are willing to put in for the struggle. However, the depth is not there. In the not-self, in the amplified mind, the depth is the most important thing in the world. I need to have more depth. I need to have more depth. I need to have more depth. You know, as a first line, this person might like studying. Their body might enjoy increasing its depth, continuing to study. And that can be perfectly natural. However, when the mind takes over and it starts amplifying these open centers, then it needs the depth at any cost. It doesn't matter what the cost, because we don't know when enough is enough. We're too busy avoiding problems to receive approval and direction from people that don't actually care about us, from people that don't matter to us. With this configuration, accept that you don't need more depth. You'll never have enough depth. You'll always want more in your thinking mind. Your mind will always want more depth. And that's okay. That's part of the movie. It's part of the show. If you can trust that your body already has the solid foundation, you don't need to worry about the depth or not. It's there. It's in your unconscious. Who cares how it comes out? It will be solid and secure if you trust your spleen. So long as you're not getting wrapped up trying to avoid things that don't matter, then your depth will be exactly what it needs to be. when it needs to be it. And so something here I'd like to say is about the motivation of desire, this third color here in the personality. If this birth time is truly accurate and we're dealing with the desire motivation, this means you are here to be involved. You are here to like what you see. You get locked into things. You're not here to take a step back. Oh, I'm innocent. This has nothing to do with me. That's not my problem. No. You're a desirous being. You get locked into what you like. And you can share that with others by simply leading the way forward. This is what desire is all about. You are a genuine leader. But only if you trust your spleen. If you don't trust your spleen, if you get lost in the amplified transference of these open centers and that 48th gate, I need more depth. I can't be involved yet. I need more depth. I can't do this yet. I need more depth. I need to make sure I'm going in the right direction. I need to make sure I'm receiving approval from the right people so that I can avoid the problems I want to avoid. And I can be aloof and take a step back and not be involved. That's the foundation of this person's ignorance, when in fact they're here to get locked in and to fix it, to solve it, to do something about it. They're a fifth line after all. When people expect something from them, they better deliver. Or they better say, nope, that's not for me. I don't like that. I want nothing to do with it. And so with the 56th gate in the fifth line of their personality sun, there is this powerful attraction of their stimulation. There is this notion of the storyteller. There is this person who can go off on a tangent and express themselves in a way, and then others can see, wow, they are really locked into what they believe. They are really locked into their perspective. I didn't think about it that way before. Now I'm going to follow you because that was genius. Or, now I'm going to get the hell away from you, you damn freak. This is the difference between trusting inner authority and type strategy versus trusting the mind for decisions and getting lost in amplification. You see, each one of us has two fundamental dimensions within us. One that is full of wisdom and brilliance, and another side that is full of ignorance, that doesn't know how to get anywhere, that doesn't know how to do anything, that only knows how to mess things up in a brand new way every single time, forever. And it's called the not self. We get attached, identified with, and amplify what is not us. We cannot build a solid foundation from it. We can only get lost in ignorance. And yet when you see that, when you start to see that you're getting sucked into a black hole of ignorance, your mind transferred over to the opposite motivation, and all of a sudden, I'm not involved. That is stripping you of your intelligence. You're here to be involved. You're here to be passionate. You're here to lock into what you care about and lead the way forward. And what do you care about? Well, your spleen will tell you. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to feel your way into it. It's in this exact moment right now. You know it. I know you know it because it's in there. All you got to do is trust it. There's no need to overthink anything. The second you try to overthink it, or you try to take a step back, or you try to get more depth because you need more depth, because your mind said so, if you notice it and you don't let it take over your life, then you have access to that beautiful, blissful, brilliant, genius, wise dimension of your truth. And that's my hope for you, each and every one of you watching. You gain access to your truth. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Take care. Bye for now.
If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.